Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco,
I'm Chris.
and today we're talking Moon Knight. So the show is less than a week away, and I'm pumped. I'm super pumped. We're invested mentally, physically, financially. I don't know what that middle one meant. But
I've been working out. I'm gonna be Moon Knight.
we're excited for Moon Knight, though. It's a show that it was funny years ago. We talked about, just chatting and being like, "Well, would be cool to see them bring into what I think at this point is probably during the Netflix days. When we were probably first talking about it, like, oh, it'd be cool if they did a Netflix Moon Knight." But I think even then we were like, that's never gonna happen. He's too abstract, just not well known enough and everything. But here we are, and it's finally happening. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is kind of predictions. So we know, based off the trailers and the subtitles for, I think his name's Ethan Hawke's character, he is going to be Arthur Harrow, which is an extremely obscure Moon Knight villain that was in a single issue.
Really know about.
Yeah, he's just a one-issue villain. But apparently, it seems anyway that that's going to be the main antagonist. But do you think there's any
predictions here? Hidden what?
Like, you think there's gonna, how Marvel shows and like Star Wars shows and people pop up and stuff like that?
Probably not necessarily a hidden villain because we have a cast for him. The Midnight Man.
That's true. Yeah, there are some. Yeah, we know about the Midnight Man. Do you think Midnight Man is going to be? Do you think Arthur Harrow is more of a red herring, and he's like going to be in like the first episode, and then taken care of, and then move on to Midnight Man or something?
A villain for like a minute, with the Midnight Man like progressively getting more and more like screen time. Being set up as the big bag for the final episode.
Yeah.
Could
be. What about the prediction on? Like, obviously, we're going to have Khonshu. Do you think there's going to be any other gods?
Let's see. We've seen Anubis, technically. Or an Anubis. Which Anubis...
The dog thing that he's pounding on?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Anubis... That doesn't necessarily mean it's Anubis. Isn't that, like, his...
God of death.
But his... That's not necessarily... I don't think that's the god. Like, he has dog...
I don't think he's beating the god of death.
He has dog creature things that work for him.
Maybe
typically.
Set? The crocodile-headed one?
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of crocodile imagery. If not...
That's Sobek. That's the crocodile-headed
I forget. I don't know all their names. I know Horus and Osiris. There's other ones.
Well, see, Raw's kind of a newer-ish Moon Knight villain.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. At the same time,
and also they're like, I feel like they're a bigger villain.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of interesting too, which we'll talk a little bit more when we talk about the future of Moon Knight, because they have said that this is just a one-season thing. It's a little self-contained thing, which I think is kind of weird. We will get into that more, but it does.
So there won't be a second season of Moon Knight?
That's what they seem to be saying anyway. Things could always change, but it's really strange because there's a lot of interest. Definitely, I mean, the comics have been doing very well. He's
got a lot of unique villains that nobody else really fights.
I think the trailer they said is the most viewed Marvel trailer for like any of the Disney Plus shows. So. I think the hype has been built up. There's been a lot of interest in the character. So, I mean, I don't think they're, planning on doing a simple, here's your 6 episodes and we're never talking about them again. Yeah. But it does pose an interesting question on you wouldn't really set up, and I guess you could set up, because, a lot of times you might set up for a second season. This is what's going to be leading into. But I guess with this, you could also be setting up into a movie, for example.
Yeah, they could. A Moon Knight movie? I wouldn't be opposed to.
Yeah. So it's definitely...
Give him a bigger villain.
Interesting to kind of think of it, though, because we don't know if there's going to be a movie or anything. And granted, that's what they did with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
They did the first season, and then there's going to be a movie, and they could always go back and do another season.
Yeah.
And they could always go back and be like, you know what, we're doing another season of Moon Knight. Whereas, I think that'd be a lot harder to do with WandaVision, for example. Now, granted, I'm saying that without having seen any of Moon Knight, but I would assume that it would be a lot, because, I don't know, WandaVision was very conceptual, and I feel like it'd be hard to do more with that. So, any other, like, based on anything, predictions that we think might be popping up?
Don't think it'll be based on the comic that I love the most, which is the...
Was it the Lemire run?
Lemire.
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to say Lamont. Not Lamont.
Nope.
Lemire run, which is my favorite Moon Knight run.
And who's more so the big bad in that one?
Himself.
Himself. Yeah, typically what's going on with Moon Knight, I feel like, most of the time.
There is no real villain. It's really himself.
Yeah.
He's fighting with his different personalities. And it's so good.
Read
the Lemire run if you haven't.
I guess that's another thing. So, a lot of the trailers have shown a lot of, what's the wimpier, not ego, what's it called?
Stephen Grant?
Yeah, Stephen Grant. It's been focused on a lot of Stephen Grant. How much Stephen Grant versus Mark Spector versus Moon Knight versus Mr. Knight, what do you think will really be seen on the screen most of the time?
That's hard. Because we've seen a lot of Stephen Grant. I imagine it'll probably go gradually from Stephen Grant into a more Mark Spector, Moon Knight. Maybe even just split all together and be like Moon Knight is regularly, where he's split a bunch.
Yeah.
And he is who he is that day.
Yeah, which it can be kind of confusing narratively. I don't think they'll be hopping around too much. Like, for example, I really like this Jed McKay run where primarily he's kind of Mr. Knight, I'd say.
Yeah. It seems like he's Mr. Knight when he's like at the Midnight Mission, but when he's out doing missions, he's Moon Knight.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't see a whole lot of Mark Spector or Steve. We haven't seen a lot of them in a while, to be honest.
Yeah, and
Mark Spector and Stephen Grant.
Yeah, because Moon Knight and Mr. Knight are cooler,
Jake Lockley.
Yeah. Now that being said, I think it definitely will be something much more explored in the show.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping we start off with Steve, because it's a good way also to explain to the audience what's happening by explaining it to Steven.
Yeah.
So, you explain it to him, and then maybe we get much more Mark Spector, and then sometimes randomly he's, Steven in not great circumstances, and he has to run away, and
it could be
then he turns into Moon Knight or something,
Because the original explanation for it in the comics was that he created these identities of Stephen Grant as his rich persona that he showed the public, Jake Lockley that he used to get information out of criminals without having to be Moon Knight, and then his regular persona of Mark Spector, and the Moon Knight. Moon Knight is also a separate persona.
Yeah. Well, created as like a facade or created as his mind fracturing?
It was a facade at first, but then his mind actually did fracture into those.
I don't think these will be
it might have been
made personas.
It might explain in the past that they did that,
Could
he was
be.
Like, maybe Mark Spector had to go deep undercover.
But also this...
And so he became Stephen Grant, and he just got locked into it.
Isn't Stephen supposed to be the rich one?
Yes.
Because it doesn't really seem like that in the trailer. He seems like he's just kind of working at a museum or something.
Yeah.
And not very well respected either. So, we'll see. But, moving on, though, into what would be
also, I'm sorry, one thing.
Go ahead.
It does not seem like it seems like they've given him powers,
Yeah.
Which is kind of a thing they've done in the comics.
Yeah.
Not with the whole summoning suit thing.
They change Moon Knight up quite a bit. Many times.
Yeah. Really the only power he's had is that when he dies from being a regular man fighting god things, his god brings him back to life.
Yeah, so
That's
he's
about the only power he's...
effectively immortal.
Yeah. In kind of a brutal way, because it's like, you're still a regular guy. You can still die.
Yeah.
But I'll bring you back.
Now, so we're going to move into much more, not necessarily speculative, but just some fun desires. Like, what would be cool characters, cool things to happen in this series that we would love to see, not really based on anything, but I'll go ahead and start off with, like, for me, I think it'd be possibly a fun time to introduce the Punisher, because they're both just brutal characters. I don't, and again, I don't even know if it would really make sense the story or everything going on, but
as much as I want the Punisher in the MCU, I feel like it would get too much.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel that, I understand that, but there's part of me that's like, those two characters would make a pretty sweet duo. You know,
kind of want Moon Knight's original like team of like supportive friends to be introduced, because we have not seen Frenchie or his moon copter pilot that he got after Frenchie.
A moon dog.
We've not seen Crowley, which is street informant. I forgot the name of the diner lady.
I don't know.
I forgot her.
How long has he been doing the Midnight Mission thing?
Midnight Mission?
Yeah.
That is just this run.
It's
he
new
started
stuff.
This run.
Gotcha. Cool. I wasn't sure if that was something that, because I like that. I really do. But anyway, because he did say something though in one of the trailers I saw, when he's explaining to Steven, he's like, I can't remember his exact wording, but he's like, "We protect those in the night" or something.
No, that's just a thing he's always done.
I know. Yeah.
He's Khonshu, protector of travelers of the night.
Yeah.
It's just a thing from. It might be a thing from Egyptian lore. They could have made it up, but it's a thing in Marvel Egyptian lore.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that's like a Moon Knight thing, but like I don't know. I really like it with the whole Midnight Mission.
Yeah.
It does. It's almost like culty, like in a way, but it's a good cult, you know. But anyway,
I wouldn't say it's a cult, because Moon Knight's the only member of the cult. People are just kind of surrounding him like, we'll help you out.
I said kind of, but anyway. But is there any fun characters? Because again, I'll go ahead and throw one kind of similar out. It'd be fun to see Daredevil,
I think it'd be real fun to see Werewolf by Night.
Oh, okay, yeah. Werewolf by Night, actually, yes. Be super fun.
Maybe like an end credits thing, And, what if that leads into a Werewolf by Night movie where Moon Knight is the villain? I'd love to see that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something else, another type of villain that he's fought before and could easily fight is vampires, which could introduce Blade, which would be super fun.
Britain?
Yeah, which is an important thing, and again, we'll kind of go into a second. But,
I assume because Stephen Grant chooses to be British. I assume we're in Britain. I actually have no confirmation on that.
I think they are.
No one else is British, I don't think.
I think that museum is like a British museum.
I'm just going to believe you.
I watched a video saying what it was, like what museum it was, and I can't remember what it was forever ago. But anyway, any other fun characters you can think of?
The Swordsman pops out of nowhere. I just want to see more of the Swordsman.
I do want to see more of the Swordsman.
He's great.
I don't think he'll be in this. So then let's go ahead and talk about, like, what do we think? Because again, like I said, the way they're talking about this, come here, Waffle. It's time for the Waffle segment of the video. Waffle, what do you think is going to be the future of Moon Knight? Okay, like I said, apparently this is going to be a 6-issue event, is what they're calling it. They're not calling it a season or anything. It's just a 6-issue thing, and it's going to happen and be done.
I'll be a little upset if they conclude and be like, "Yep, I'm Mark Spector. I'm all mentally healthy now. I'm not going to be Moon Knight. I'm not going to be anybody. I'm going to be boring."
No.
That'd be very boring.
I don't think, and like I said, especially with the hype of all this, I don't think they're going to let this character not do things anymore. My main theory is that this is going to be leading to some kind of like Marvel Knights
Marvel Knights.
Because well, and again, we've talked about it before. Calm down, boy. So currently they are in London, I think,
Yeah.
with Moon Knight. Also, what's his
Blade
name?
and Black Knight.
Black Knight. There we go. I want to say Kit Harington. But yeah. So we have that little
That's
end credit.
2 knights,
Yeah.
1 blade.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have this kind of gathering in London right now with Blade. Yeah, they're not. They haven't. Well, Blade and Black Knight have met. Could be even just an end credit scene.
I'd love to see a movie of the 3 of them fighting vampires.
Has Moon Knight had his staff?
No, I haven't seen his staff.
Maybe Moon Knight at the end credit scene, he opens a box and is about to grab a staff, and then Blade's like, "You sure you want to do that?" I don't know. I think it would be a really good pairing, or not pairing, but grouping of all these characters.
Is there anyone else you would want to be introduced into that?
To the Marvel Knights?
Yeah.
You gotta have Daredevil.
But how's Daredevil going from Hell's Kitchen?
I don't
to
know.
Britain?
That's not
I'm
my
talking
job to
about
figure out.
something a little more, a British superhero that could go actually work.
I would really want. I want Elsa Bloodstone to be.
Elsa
introduced.
Bloodstone would be fun.
She's
a
would
monster
be
hunter.
Super fun, I think. And then have like a Marvel Knight show of them, and it could even really be like a Monster of the Week type thing, and I'd be totally fine with that. Where they're fighting vampires one week, werewolves another week, tentacle Cyclops monsters another week. Good by me, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'd be down. I'd be super down with that. I think that would be really cool. It would introduce a character that I really enjoy. Marvel's trying to be diverse and everything, so we could get a female into the group. I think it's a good shot.
Irish lady. Is she Irish?
No, I think she's British.
British?
Yeah, she's British.
Hmm.
Which we're there. I think she was. I think she was born somewhere else. I can't remember exactly. Her history's a little
less likely candidates: Captain Britain and Union Jack.
Although
I will say,
I feel like an MCU
Britain,
Union Jack wouldn't look fun.
Captain Britain has wielded Excalibur, and Excalibur was in Eternals.
Did they have the real? I can't remember.
They had the real Excalibur. Because somebody said, "Is that the Ebony Blade?" And they're like, "Nah, it's just Excalibur."
That's right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Could be setting things up, but other than Marvel Knights, do you think? I don't know. What is your kind of prediction? I don't know. Do you expect
Moon Knight's like, man, Britain sucks. I'm going to the West Coast to hang out with Hawkeye.
I'm gonna go hang out with Daredevil and Punisher. I don't know. Because like I said,
I'm gonna go start a West Coast Avengers of some sort with Hawkeye.
I think it's really hard to kind of try to grasp right now since there's so little detail, but I think as we start watching these episodes, which we may or may not do episodal reviews,
but we definitely ain't releasing them the night after.
No, we're no longer gonna be doing the night of. We might be doing the day after, rough. Or if they come out on Wednesday, we might put them out on Fridays or something. We'll figure it out, but. With that, be reviewing the episode, but also maybe, refining our theories. And
I do think we're probably going to get, at least some flashback scenes to his time in Egypt.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that'll be
I wonder if he is still going to be a mercenary that was with Raoul Bushman that was like, hey, hold up, maybe we're not doing the right thing here. And then he gets shot. Lit up.
And then brought back to life, because that's what he does.
He's got to crawl to that statue and beg for his life.
Yeah. But yeah, so kind of final, make a choice. What do you think is going to happen? Is he going to get another season? Is he going to get a movie? Is he going to be paired up with some other group? What's your prediction? Just so we can have something down, and maybe one of us will possibly be right.
My biggest hope and dream is that our 3 Marvel Knights come together in a movie or series.
So you're sticking with the Marvel Knights
I'm sticking
as well?
with the Marvel Knights.
Okay.
It's a lot of coinky-dink right there.
We're both on board for Marvel Knights then. If you have theories, desires, whatever it may be, please comment down below. We'd love to know what you think. Maybe you don't know that much about Moon Knight, because there's a lot of people that don't know much about Moon Knight, and you're just waiting for the ride, and you're going to enjoy it.
Lemire's run, because
well,
it's my favorite and probably the best
there's
Moon Knight's
definitely
ever been.
You could definitely read, but we're kind of running out of time. The show is coming pretty
Read
soon.
it now!
But, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Waffles really appreciates
Oreo,
it. It really gets him excited, as you saw. He was overjoyous with the desire to lick my face, and is brought upon by you. So, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
Ha ha ha!